right here on AM 970 The Answer. There's a lot to get into, but we wanted to clear these airways for Bernie KERIK. Bernard KERIK is former New York City Police Commissioner and has a stellar career in law enforcement and kind enough to join us this early in the morning. Although, Bernie, I must say, if I can, my friend, we miss you being in studio, even though I know you're not crazy about our studio, Commissioner, but we do miss you being here. But thanks for calling in. How you doing this morning, Bernie?
I'm good, Joe.
Well,
What's happening?
I could tell by your tweets, Commissioner. This is your friend Joey. You are ticked off, man. You are ticked off between the bomber guy and the synagogue. But I have to ask you, Bernie, I have to lean on our friendship a little bit. This bomber character, if I can go there first, why it just something's. I've said it all day yesterday. Very fishy, and you know, as the one of the elite law enforcement officials of this great town. What am I sensing that's wrong about that bomber guy? Is that a setup or what are you feeling, Bernie?
I don't know if it's a setup, Joe. He's a kook.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the reality is there are people like this in the world, and we have to deal with them. Now, I was doing an interview somewhere last night, I think with Sean Hannity, and he said, what do you think? Why? I said, why? Did you see the guy, Joe?
Yeah.
Did you look at the guy?
Yeah.
Did you look at the van he's living in or riding around in?
Yeah.
Okay.
But how
if they thought in any way that those devices came out of that area in Florida, that's like the local cops should have said, "Hey, I got a guy you may want to look at."
Yeah. Just
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So
how does he know where George Soros lives? How does he know where the Obamas? He's got all the addresses. I mean,
yeah, but you know what, Joe? You can get that stuff online.
Yeah, scary.
You can.
Scary.
Listen, before I do anything else, my youngest daughter, Angelina, is 16 years old today.
She's a beauty.
Send her a
Happy
message.
birthday,
I love her,
Angelina. Happy birthday. Beautiful name, too.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is any 15, 16-year-old, they can find their addresses.
Yeah.
They can get their addresses. You can get anything online, anything.
And we saw how long it took them to catch the Unabomber and the anthrax terrorist. It was nice that law enforcement caught this guy so quickly.
Yeah. Well, I said he would. I predicted it.
Yeah.
I said 24 to 72 hours, and they had him. So the thing in Pittsburgh, the shooting, just horrible, tragic. I was listening to you guys this morning, and Frank and you, and talk about and Al talk about the Jewish community and the anti-Semitism, and I just don't get that. I don't understand it. I also don't understand why many Jews are ultra liberal in their. I don't know where that. I don't know why that makes me crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I have my longtime friends, are all my Jewish buddies from Philadelphia, and we used to go down the shore together. Liberal, and they just blindly vote, with the progressives. And to your point, I don't understand it. Because the anti-Semitic rise over the last 8 years has been telling. Again, like Frankie and I were talking about, I don't know that you want to blame President Obama for that, but you're absolutely right. There's a rise in anti-Semitism. And in the law enforcement community, you saw it first and foremost, Bernie.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. So
do you put armed guards in the houses of worship?
Yes, I think you do. I think you do. I think, listen, we live in a very different world than we lived in 20 years ago. People have to get that in their head. They have to come to that realization. This is the world we live in. And whether it's a lunatic like that or some radical dude that, some terrorist that wants to come in and do something, the bottom line is there is this continued threat that we face in the country and, social media, young kids that's completely distanced from their parents. They're not I think when you stopped having kids say yes sir and no sir and yes ma'am and no ma'am, and you took God out of the schools and you don't have prayer and you don't salute the flag, I just think something's happened, man.
Yeah.
Something's really happened to the country, and it's diminishing. And I don't know if we've gone so far that we can't pull it back. which is scary as hell.
Yeah, well, because you saw the most heinous crime on mankind, 9/11. You saw that and how we joined together the next day. We were so
Yeah, Joe. Let me talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Allowing the wrong people into the country. Nobody knows better what happens when the wrong people come into this country for the wrong reason. And we have a situation right now on the border. You've got close to 10,000 people now. And according to the Mexican authorities in these videos that I watched last night, they've got weapons, they've got arms, they've got bombs, IEDs. They're coming to the border. One, I believe that this is an orchestrated event by maybe Soros, maybe somebody else, but I think it's an orchestrated event to have an impact on the election. I think the FBI and the Department of Justice should be investigating the organizers and the people that continue to push forward for illegal entry into the country with all these people, knowing that the President of the United States has said, no, you can't come in. We've got thousands of people around the world waiting to come into the country legally.
Yeah.
They have applications.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're in the middle of processes.
Yep.
You have all this stuff going on. You have these nitwits coming in from down south somewhere. They think they're going to push into the country, come in, and basically, bypass the law, bypass all those people. Where are the Democratic legislators calling for this to stop?
Yeah, they've been silent about this. What about the military, Bernie KERIK, in your experience as police commissioner of New York? So, what do you put tanks down there, Bernie? I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, because
I think the president has to put whatever he has to put down there.
Wow.
The president has an obligation.
Yeah.
The president has an obligation.
Yeah.
This isn't a personal whim. He has a obligation, a duty to protect the border of this country. And he's got to do everything in his power to do that. So whatever he's going to do, he's got to do it, whatever it is. And you know what? I saw this morning, I recommended this, I said 2 years ago when he came into office. Mm-hmm. One of the first things he needs to do on immigration reform, stop the anchor babies. Because I know people from the Middle East that have intentionally scheduled trips in the U.S. so they could have kids here and have their babies here. The cartels do it. The people from South America do it. The people from the Middle East do it.
Yeah.
It's got to stop. And the president, this is the first one that's ever said, we have to end it.
And we're seeing it, and Five Boroughs brought this to my attention early. Thanks for mentioning it, Commissioner. President Trump, reading here, says he's going to sign an executive order ending birthright citizenship for babies born in the U.S. to mothers who are not citizens, including illegal immigrants. You think that's the right thing to do, Commissioner?
100%, 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. People have no conception of the amount of people that just flock into the country so that they can have kids. And some of these kids, I know people, literally, Joe, I know people from the Middle East. They've had kids here. They left, and the kids never come back until they're like 18, 19.
Wow. Well, hey, Bernie, I have to ask you this before we let you go. Is there a danger of copycat crimes in either the male moms or the shooter? In general, it goes hand in hand in what you've been saying about threats to soft targets, which we are. What should be looking?
There always is, Joe.
Yeah.
There's two things. There's the copycats, and then there's the false alarms. I don't know what the numbers are, but I'm confident that in the aftermath of the bombings, the NYPD experienced a major surge in, false alarms. And in doing that, you tie up all kind of manpower. In the aftermath of the anthrax attacks back in 2001, the first ones right after September 11th, we had hundreds and hundreds of calls daily that were false alarms. Packages powder.
God,
all
remember
the
those
stuff.
times, Bernie? I still don't know how you and the Mayor Giuliani, went through all that. God bless you for that, man. Just an impossible time. And here we are. You would think after that time we'd all join together. Right, Commissioner? That's what
Yeah,
you're...
you would think.
Yeah, look at that. Hey, first of all, happy birthday, Angelina, 16. I know what a great dad you are. The book, by the way, from Bernie is The Grave Above the Grave. Check out Bernie's book, new book, The Grave Above the Grave. And my love to your family, Bernie. And we always appreciate you joining us, and you're welcome here anytime. It's a
All right.
privilege
Thanks, Joe.
and a pleasure, Bernie KERIK. Thanks, my friend. God bless you, man. Take care, Bernie.
Thank you.
Thank you.